Midnight Society just released the 2024 roadmap for Deadrop. This includes everything leading up to the early access release at the end of 2024, console release, everything. We're going to break it down for you and show you where you can see it for yourself. Let's get going. There's a lot to cover here. So as you've heard Robert Bowling, the head of Midnight Society, say, 2024 is the year of refinement in Deadrop's development cycle, and this includes the early access release on all approved platforms. If you look at this blog post itself, which is where the 2024 roadmap for Deadrop exists, you can find this on midnightsociety.com right on the front page if you scroll to the bottom. Look right here, 2024, and this really isn't super big news. I mean, things could still change. But of course, we're going to have the PC release. We have the PlayStation logo here. We have the Xbox Series X logo here for those console fans, and that's addressed later in the roadmap. But the plan is to launch Deadrop in early access for all approved platforms, including console, this year. But there's also the Epic Games Store logo here. They're building the game on Unreal Engine 5, by the way, made by Epic, and this also says they're working directly with Epic on optimization in Unreal Engine 5. So, I mean, this is not like a true hard confirmation. I wouldn't say until Midnight Society officially releases, hey, we're releasing on Epic Game Store, but this makes a lot of sense. You know, they've said before they plan to have a Midnight Society launcher of some kind as well, but here you have it, Epic Game Store logo, it's right there, and that's not mentioned anywhere else in here, so I just thought I'd point that out right off the bat. So the roadmap confirms there will be fewer, snapshot releases, playable snapshot releases in 2024 for a couple of reasons. Mainly because the team's really working to get this game to that finalized, polished AAA level. And because of that, they're working on the art for the game, right? The graphics, the visuals. That's one of the big things that's going to resonate with gamers, especially mainstream gamers, more casual gamers, is when they see this game and it looks like the games that, they're used to seeing, right? Like a finalized, polished AAA game that looks like Call of Duty or the Finals or whatever in Unreal Engine 5. And they talk about in this post how that's a very time-consuming thing to balance with optimization. So that kind of makes it a little harder because that's something they're also doing in 2024, to be arting the maps and adding, changing the way that the maps look, the character models look, the way they animate, the way the weapons animate, all that stuff. And also optimize it at the same time. And you can imagine how difficult that would be to do at the same time while releasing playable builds, right? Because when you're adding all this new art, you're then going to need to optimize it and so on. So anyway, interesting part about the optimization here. This has come up a lot. Obviously, they're optimizing this for a range of hardware, PC and console. But the optimization part says that their target is to get players on a 1070 equivalent level card running at a solid frame rate while allowing high-end machines to enjoy a higher frame rate. So this has come up a lot. Right now the system recommendations for Deadrop are quite high, but their goal for this early access release is to have players on 1070 level cards running at a solid frame rate. So that's good to know that players with more budget PCs will be in the mix very soon. And it's also important to note that this doesn't mean that there's going to be no playable releases in 2024 leading up to early access. That's addressed in here, that there are going to be certain targeted playtests throughout 2024, and to keep an eye on the Midnight Society Discord for the announcement of those playtests. 402 mentioned these in an AMA towards the end of 2023 in December. So there are going to be more playtests coming that aren't like fully public-facing snapshots, but kind of more targeted playtests that the team needs to gather that important community feedback. So that stuff, maybe the vehicle that delivers those is changing a little bit, but it's still definitely happening, and they're going to be asking the community to playtest various aspects of the game going forward. One of those things will be the return of the player hideout. This is something we got back in Snapshot 1. It was like a firing range back then, but it's now been redesigned, and it's your pre-game area, your lobby, where you'll squad up with your friends, display your stash and your loot, and also, they've said that customization is going to be part of this, whether that's in the first or next iteration of the hideout, we will see. But it has a new design that's being finalized, and it's going to support all the new features that have been added to Deadrop since, Snapshot 1, such as vehicles, vendors, displays, so on and so forth, which brings us to the quests and contract aspect here that is also on the roadmap for 2024. It says quests and contracts are a major design system of Deadrop that will give players an opportunity to work with or for the various factions within the game and be rewarded for it. These quests and contracts will be a large part of the focus testing we do in the future. So that's during 2024. Obviously, what I'm thinking is there's going to be representatives from all of these factions in the player hideout, which will be able to accept missions, objectives, so on. Go in, complete them, go into the tower, complete them, come back out, get your rewards, so on and so forth. Can't wait to do that, by the way. Dr. Disrespect, 100% gonna be a vendor, calling it. Also planning for the future here, and this is part of that UGC vision. And there's not a lot of specifics here. It says we're doing all the necessary under the hood work to ensure our community can create, import, and sell their own creations within the game. This means building systems in a way that can be easily integrate future third-party authored content. This means stuff like the asset creation tool that Rob thinks is probably going to make it out in 2024. Create your own custom skins and weapons, for example. And then beyond that, clearly, is the map editor, which is probably their last big piece of UGC. Obviously, there's going to be a marketplace that's part of that, but that all part of that. All these systems that they're building right now are being built, and that's that planning for the future thing to fit within those UGC umbrellas and pipelines. That's virtually everything that's covered in detail in this roadmap. Again, roadmaps are just that. They're roadmaps. They're not going to put every little nitty-gritty thing in here that, they plan to do, let's say, 3 sectors and add 2 more guns between now and then and refine the movement in this month, in June as opposed to April or whatever. Obviously, the gameplay is going to be refined a lot over the next year. Stuff like gun recoil patterns, all that stuff. And I have a video on this channel about how I would specifically redesign the gameplay of Deadrop for launch. Check that out. Check out all the other videos on the channel. And if you want to playtest Deadrop yourself, remember you can buy an access pass right now for $9.99 and be included in that, or wait for the eventual free-to-play release. Is clearly planned for PC, Epic Game Store, Xbox, and PlayStation. That's at least the plan, right, during 2024. So, let me know what you guys think. Put all your questions down below, the things you're excited about, what things you really want to playtest, your hope to see in these playtests during 2024. And make sure you check out all the other content on the channel, guys. We are your hardest working YouTube channel in regards to Deadrop and Midnight Society content. So thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. Click the like button and subscribe. See you in the next one. May Reynolds out. This video is sponsored by G Fuel Energy, a sugar-free energy drink available in both powdered and canned form, and you can get 20% off using code MAYOR at discount. That's just MAYOR, M-A-Y-O-R. Right in checkout, it's going to get you 20% off. There's a ton of good flavors, including this new Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty flavor. If you need a competitive edge, guys, something to keep you up on those late nights or just get you hyped for whatever the latest release is, look no further than G Fuel Energy and use code MAYOR to get a discount on your order and support my content and channel at the same time.